On Christmas Eve 1741, the Moravians gave the name Bethlehem to the settlement that they had recently founded on the Lehigh River. Bethlehem was a communal society that produced almost everything that the group needed internally. Within 2 decades, more than 40 different industries and trades, including blacksmithing and locksmithing, tanning of leather, weaving, shoemaking, potteries, and gunsmithing, all flourished at Bethlehem. As colonial populations expanded, so did the traffic of travelers through the area. Being a communal and an exclusive religious society, Moravians wanted to protect themselves from outside influence. Nonetheless, they were hospitable to travelers. In 1758, ground was broken near the King's Highway, north of the settlement, establishing the location of the Sun Inn. 1761 saw the first guests to the inn, and word quickly spread throughout the colonies of the incredible accommodations and cuisine available at the Sun Inn. It also included something that was rare in the colonies: guest suites. Lodging in early America often involved shared accommodations, including sleeping head to toe with complete strangers in the same bed. So, the notion of having 2 bedrooms and a common room to yourself was undoubtedly attractive to anyone of means. The Sun Inn became a planned stop for many traveling north and south between cities such as Philadelphia or New York. One early guest at the inn was Ben Franklin, then the Postmaster General. He came to Bethlehem when he was building forts along the Pennsylvania frontier during the French and Indian War. Many Continental Army officers and many members of the Continental Congress visited Bethlehem during the American Revolution. The Marquis de Lafayette, who was wounded in the leg at the Battle of Brandywine, convalesced in the Sun Inn before moving to a private residence. A list of esteemed guests, posted on the wall in the Center Hall, contains 10 signers of the Declaration of Independence, 5 presidents, and other founding fathers, including Ben Franklin, Alexander Hamilton, John Jay, Ethan Allen, John Adams, and George and Martha Washington, who had separate stays here. When Martha was here, she stayed in the suite that is part of the museum today. The inn changed hands many times in the 19th century. A 4th floor was added, and its footprint on Main Street expanded to twice its original size. In 1865, Asa Packer, a railroad tycoon and one of the wealthiest people in America, held a meeting in the inn to announce the founding of Lehigh University with a $500,000 donation, which would equal about $17 million today. In 1922, Hotel Bethlehem was built by Charles Schwab, president of Bethlehem Steel, which led to a decline in demand for the Sun Inn's services. Over the next several decades, it fell into disrepair and closed in 1962. By 1970, the city of Bethlehem was planning to tear down the structure for redevelopment, but a group of Bethlehemites, led by Huetta Bender, formed the Sun Inn Preservation Association to raise funds necessary to purchase the Sun Hotel and surrounding properties. The Sun Inn Preservation Association restored the building to its original 1758 form, but with a modern infrastructure, including steel beams and concrete, an elevator, and state-of-the-art safety equipment. Restoration was completed in 1982. A large portion of the foundation and some walls are original. Several restaurants have operated at the restored inn. In 2016, after working with the Sun Inn Preservation Association to refurbish some of the inn's interior spaces, Christmas City Spirits opened the restaurant, the Tavern at the Sun Inn. Its distillery sales room is on the 1st floor, behind the innkeeper's desk. Christmas City Spirits named its first still Huetta as a tribute to the woman who saved the Sun Inn. The Sun Inn's museum is located on the 1st floor, and the restaurant is located on the 2nd floor. Long-term plans involve converting the 3rd floor into a museum area, showing how travelers who could not afford the suites slept head to toe, 4 to a bed. The area may also become a dining area for banquets or large parties. Colonial Kitchen. The spacious hearth is where the famous cuisine was prepared, Originally, this room was split into two, the rear being a butchering area and the front being the cooking area. Running water, available in the inn by 1766, was very rare in colonial inns. The room contains a representative hearth and items that would have been part of a colonial homestead, including kitchen tools, spinning wheels, and other useful objects. The Gashtaba, or the common room. Here, guests were entertained with light fare, a warm fireplace, and possibly a little music while they waited for their rooms or a coach to Philadelphia or New York. A representative table is on display with some items you may have found during that time. The room contains a tall clock built down the street by John Matthew Miksch around 1825, and a model of the Sun Inn from the Restoration in the early 1980s. The Martha Washington Suite shows what it would have been like to be guests at the inn, dining in their private suite. Such suites were rare in the colonies. We know that Martha Washington stayed in this particular suite when she visited. The room contains a pair of original shutters, discovered during restoration in the 1980s, installed in 1763 to protect from native attack. It also contains a tall clock built by John Samuel Krause in Bethlehem around 1805. Nestled in the heart of historic downtown Bethlehem, the Sun Inn is still making history with its rich tradition as Bethlehem's original house of entertainment, and will continue to write new chapters long into the future. Visit our website for hours of operation, events, new product offerings, and menus.